People used to think that with aging, it was all over, it was a downhill course, that it was just a matter of time before you lose it, and that you couldn't learn anything new. You can't teach old dogs new tricks. Today we know all of those images are incorrect, that ongoing learning knows no endpoint in the life cycle, and the biggest factor for maintaining the skills or even enhancing them is ongoing challenge.
It's amazing what can come out when we challenge ourselves, and we don't want to limit ourselves. We want to present challenges and opportunities through the Society for Creative Aging. Ours is a community-based model. We're relying on the resources that exist within the community. We want to approach elders individually that are still functioning and vibrant in independent living, as well as our frail elders who are in the full range of facilities, be it assisted living or nursing home units. Those who have mental disabilities or physical handicaps, to us it's irrelevant. You know, we think it's available for everyone. We think that anybody is capable of doing a creative act. Creativity is within us all. It's not about the product, it's about the process and going through that and expressing themselves. Through intergenerational programming, we want to connect our youth to our elders so that they can look up and see life's lessons that are so important, and have the seniors share some of their wisdom with the young so that they feel still a part of society at large. The whole thing is not about being afraid, and it's not about making mistakes. There is no right or wrong. Everyone has movement, and to whatever degree that you can move, you can participate. We have one dancer. She came and she said, well, you know, I have trouble with balance. We said, no problem. You know, you can do a lot of the dance movements from a chair. Well, that concept was totally foreign to everyone. How in the world can you move and dance from a chair? But it was amazing. She was able to go through and use her body to whatever limited range of motion she had and express herself. I think creativity, for those who have already been involved in their lives, we know that it does affect their life and their quality of life.
I'm a painter, and I've been painting all my life, ever since 8 years old. Out of necessity at first, because I was bedridden and drew on anything, and somehow or other it just sort of got me started, and from there on I had to paint or I had to draw, and I've been doing it for 60 years. When you paint, you get so absorbed by what you're doing that everything else is not important. It keeps you sharp. It keeps you focused. I'm always out there looking for things to paint, or just seeing little different things that are meaning to me as an artist, you know, very important. And so I'm always on high. I make the colors a little more colorful. I make the buildings a little less straight. I lose the rigidity that is in everyday life, and this is how I feel. Tear that wall down that keeps you from it and keeps you from painting, and abandon yourself and have some, and just do it.
When people ask me how old I am, I tell them how old I am. And they say, no. And I say, yes. They tell me it's genes, but I think it's possibly more than that. There's too much mystery around that I still want to get at. that I have not gotten to. I still want to learn how to paint better than I have. I still want to be able to write better poetry, more incisive poetry than I have written. I want to be able to do my sculpture faster. I have gone through cycles of depression and where I actually could not work. And then something breaks. What it is, I have the slightest idea. But the resurgence comes back and I go back to work. It might start with a tiny little idea. And I'll go back to work on a piece of sculpture or a poem. A thought will come in and I'll write a poem. And I think that supports my life. I had started this self-portrait of me at the canvas when I was about 40 years old. And I had never finished it. The background was very different. And when I rediscovered the canvas by going through a bunch of junk, I looked at it and it didn't make any sense to me anymore. So I suddenly got the idea of having me, as I am now, looking at his younger, the younger one. And that's what I'm working on now. It's not finished and it's still has a ways to go. So far as the future is concerned, just let it come. Whatever comes.